The metal chair was cold. Katie shivered, pulling her shawl tighter. Inspector Jack sat across from her, his face etched with concern.
Katie, tell me again, what did you see at the Duke's estate?
Katie hesitated, her breath catching in her throat. The memories swirled, dark and disjointed.
I can't explain. It's like a nightmare, but it felt so real.
The memory hit her like a physical blow. It was as if the past had reached out with invisible hands and struck her, leaving her breathless and disoriented. She could almost feel the sting of the moment, the sharpness of the realization cutting through her like a knife. She was back in the shadows of the grand hallway, her heart pounding like a drum in her chest. The dim light cast eerie shadows on the walls, making the grand space feel like a labyrinth of fear and uncertainty. Every creak of the floorboards, every whisper of the wind seemed to echo her own anxiety. Duke Frank's voice, a low, menacing murmur, drifted from behind the heavy oak door. It was a voice that carried weight, a voice that could command and intimidate with equal measure. The words were indistinct, but the tone was unmistakable. Danger lurked behind that door.
Mr. Bill, we must ensure my brothers never inherit a penny. The Duke's words were cold and calculating, devoid of any familial affection. It was a declaration of war, a plan to strip his own blood of their rightful inheritance.
Fear turned her blood to ice. The realization of the Duke's intentions was paralyzing. She felt trapped, like a mouse in a maze with no exit. Her mind raced, trying to find a way out, a way to warn those who were in danger. Mr. Bill, the Duke's sinister associate, chuckled. It was a sound that sent shivers down her spine, a sound that spoke of dark deeds and ruthless ambition. His eyes gleamed with malice, enjoying the power he held over the situation. His reply was a barely audible hiss. "Consider it done," he said, his voice dripping with venom. It was a promise of action, a commitment to carry out the Duke's nefarious plans without hesitation.
"Consider it done." The words echoed in the dimly lit room, sealing the fate of those who stood in their way. It was a pact made in shadows, a conspiracy that would change lives forever.
Katie had fled, her mind reeling. She ran through the dark forest, branches scratching at her skin, the cold air biting at her lungs. She didn't know where she was going, only that she had to get away, had to warn someone, anyone, about what she had heard. What did it mean? Who were they planning to hurt? The questions swirled in her mind, each one more urgent than the last. She had to find answers, had to uncover the truth before it was too late. The weight of the mystery pressed down on her, driving her forward into the unknown. The interrogation room dissolved around her. Katie gasped, a dizzying sensation overwhelming her. Darkness pressed in from all sides, thick and suffocating. The scent of river water, cold and earthy, filled her nostrils. A faint ethereal melody drifted through the darkness. It was alluring, hypnotic. When the darkness receded, she found herself on a small wooden boat. A dark, silent river stretched before her, its surface reflecting an unseen moon. Seated opposite her was Inspector Jack, his face a mask of confusion, and then she saw her. A figure of unearthly beauty with gossamer wings and eyes that shimmered like amethysts. The fairy, Faiha, her voice like the tinkling of bells, spoke.
"The Duke is bound by an ancient curse, a curse that twists his desires, driving him to madness and murder."
Katie's heart pounded. Faiha offered her help, a glimmer of hope in the oppressive darkness. The boat lurched violently, throwing Katie back into the harsh reality of the interrogation room. The sudden jolt was a stark contrast to the serene river she had just been on, a river that now seemed like a distant memory. The bright lights stung her eyes, making it difficult to focus. She squinted, trying to shield her eyes from the harsh glare, but it was no use. The light was relentless, just like the questions she knew were coming. Inspector Jack was staring at her, his expression unreadable. His eyes bore into her, searching for answers she wasn't sure she had. The room was silent, save for the ticking of a clock somewhere in the background.
"Katie, are you all right?" he asked, his voice laced with concern. His tone was gentle, but there was an underlying urgency that Katie couldn't ignore. She nodded slowly. though she wasn't sure if she was convincing either of them.
She looked around, her heart racing. The room felt smaller, the walls closing in on her. She could hear her own heartbeat, loud and fast, echoing in her ears. Panic was setting in, and she struggled to keep it at bay. The river, the ferry, it was all gone. The mystical setting that had felt so real just moments ago had vanished, leaving her in this cold, sterile room. She tried to hold on to the memory, but it was slipping away, like sand through her fingers.
I don't understand, she stammered, her voice trembling. The words felt foreign on her tongue, as if she was speaking a language she didn't quite know. She looked at the inspector, hoping for some kind of explanation, but his face remained impassive. It felt so real, but I can't remember. The images in her mind were blurred, like a dream that fades upon waking. She clutched her head, trying to piece together the fragments, but they slipped away just out of reach.
The journey to the river, Faiha's warning, it was fading like a half-remembered dream. The dark forest path, the misty riverbank at twilight, it all seemed so distant now. She could almost hear Faiha's voice, warning her of the dangers ahead, but the words were muffled, lost in the fog of her mind. Only a deep sense of unease remained. She felt a chill run down her spine as if someone was watching her. She glanced over her shoulder, but there was no one there. The shadowy figure that had haunted her dreams was gone, but the fear lingered, a constant reminder of the journey she could barely remember. Days turned into sleepless nights. Katie, haunted by fragmented memories, couldn't shake off the feeling of impending doom. She confided in Inspector Jack, her fragmented memories painting a picture of chilling ambition and deadly intent. Jack, initially skeptical, started connecting the dots.
The Duke's erratic behavior, the suspicious accidents that had befallen his brothers. It all pointed to a terrifying truth.
Time was running out. They had to act fast to save the Duke's remaining brothers. As they delved deeper into the Duke's affairs, a web of deceit and treachery unraveled. The Duke, consumed by paranoia and greed, was ready to eliminate anyone standing in his way. The weight of responsibility pressed down on Katie's shoulders.
She was the only one who had glimpsed the darkness in the Duke's heart, the only one who could stop him.
They confronted the Duke in his opulent study, the air thick with unspoken tension.
We know about your plans, Frank.
The Duke, his face contorted with rage, denied everything.
But I saw the flicker of fear in his eyes, the confirmation I needed.
She recounted the whispers she'd overheard, the chilling pact with Mr. Bill. The Duke's composure crumbled. He lunged, but Jack was quicker, restraining him before he could do any harm. As the Duke's schemes unraveled, so did the layers of his carefully constructed facade. His brothers, initially disbelieving, were forced to confront the horrifying truth. Katie's testimony, her unwavering courage in the face of danger, proved crucial. For Katie, the ordeal was a harrowing journey through the labyrinth of her own memories. The line between reality and the surreal had blurred, leaving her questioning her own sanity. Justice, though long delayed, was served. The Duke, stripped of his title and wealth, faced the consequences of his actions. Mr. Bill, apprehended trying to flee, met a similar fate. The Duke's remaining brothers, their lives spared, were left to pick up the pieces of their shattered family. For Katie, a sense of relief washed over her, bittersweet and heavy. The truth had prevailed, but at a cost. The secrets of the mansion, once buried deep, had left an indelible mark on her soul. In the aftermath, life slowly returned to a semblance of normalcy. The streets, once filled with chaos and uncertainty, began to buzz with the familiar hum of daily routines. People resumed their activities, shops reopened, and children played in the parks once more. The community, though scarred, showed remarkable resilience, coming together to rebuild what was lost. The echoes of the disaster still lingered, but there was a collective determination to move forward, to heal, and to find strength in unity. Yet the experience had irrevocably changed Katie. She often found herself staring out the window, lost in thought, her mind replaying the events that had unfolded. The distant look in her eyes spoke of a depth of emotion and reflection that words could scarcely capture. In the quiet moments she grappled with the weight of her experiences, the memories of what she had seen and endured. The once vibrant and carefree woman now carried a somberness, a gravity that came from facing the unknown and surviving. The whispers of the past lingered, a constant reminder of the hidden darkness that lurked beneath the surface of their world. Every shadow seemed to hold a secret, every whisper a hint of the unseen forces at play. The eerie shadows in the quiet streets at night brought back memories of the dangers she had faced, the conspiracies she had uncovered. It was as if the very air was thick with the remnants of those dark days, a haunting presence that refused to be forgotten. The encounter with Faiha, though fading with time, left an imprint on her soul. Katie often found herself haunted by memories, the face of Faiha appearing in her dreams, the chilling words echoing in her mind. The reflective moments in dim light revealed a woman forever changed, her expression somber as she contemplated the impact of that fateful meeting. It was a stark reminder that some experiences, no matter how distant, leave a lasting mark on our hearts and minds. It was a stark reminder that some forces, ancient and unknowable, shape our destinies in ways we can scarcely comprehend. The ancient ruins at night, the mystical forest shrouded in fog, and the old stone symbols under the moonlight all spoke of a world beyond our understanding. These forces, timeless and enigmatic, wove the fabric of fate, guiding our paths in ways we might never fully grasp. Katie had glimpsed this hidden world, and it had forever altered her perception of reality. Katie emerged from the ordeal stronger, forever marked by the chilling conspiracy she helped unveil. She walked with a newfound determination, her steps purposeful and resolute. The dark cloak she often wore symbolized her journey through the shadows, a testament to her strength and resilience. She stood tall, a figure of quiet power, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The experience had forged her into a warrior, a guardian of truth in a world fraught with deception. Her courage, her unwavering belief in truth and justice, had saved lives and shattered a web of deceit. Katie's actions had not only exposed the villains, but had also inspired others to stand up for what was right. She had become a symbol of hope, a beacon of light in the darkness. The chains of fear and ignorance were broken, and a new era of awareness and vigilance began. Her heroism was a testament to the power of one individual's resolve to make a difference. And in the quiet moments when the world faded away, she could almost hear the faint whisper of bells, a haunting melody from a forgotten journey down a dark, silent river. The river, with its quiet flow and mysterious depths, seemed to hold the secrets of the past, a reminder of the journey she had undertaken. The old bells, with their melancholic chime, echoed the sentiments of a time long gone, yet ever present in her heart. These moments of reflection were a bridge between the past and the present, a reminder of the echoes of fate that continued to shape her life.